to the channel, Simon Side of Football. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It will be much appreciated. I hope you guys are all doing well. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Tottenham Bayern Munich game, my predicted lineup, also a few things about transfers, or ins and outs and possibilities, and how poor of a transfer window we're having so far. I will talk a bit about that Daniel Levy interview we had with Gary Neville on the overlap. I did mean to do that on the last video and I just completely forgot, so sorry about that, guys, but I will mention that. I will start with that actually. So he had an interview with Gary Neville on the overlap. If you haven't seen it, you can see it on YouTube on the overlap. Just spoke about the stadium, really, like how much it cost, and like, you know, say it was just over $1 billion when it was at first. It was going to be around 400-500 million. In today's age, it would be over a £2 billion stadium. About concerts there and all sorts going on at the stadium, and and he spoke about a little bit about Ange and why they decided as a group, as the board level, all decided to sack Ange. You know, they was just pretty much because we come 17th, losing 22 Premier League games is just not acceptable, which isn't. But obviously he was grateful and, you know, was proud that we won the Europa League. So, and he said that's his proudest moment and that he pretty much said he's had a taste of it now, and he wants more, and he wants us to start challenging for Premier Leagues and winning a Premier League and the Champions League. And he said he wants to do that as soon as possible. He said Thomas Frank doesn't have to do that this year, but as soon as he can, then the better, really, pretty much. And just said he will back Ange as best as pretty much as much as he can, as our capability of our club. But do we see that? In my view, not at the moment, but we'll get into that. So that was sort of the bullet points of that interview with Gary Neville. If you want to watch it, it's about 35 minutes long. But yeah, it's just pretty much saying that it's more about the commercial side of stuff, which they were talking about, than transfers and, you know, stuff like that, really. So, you know, but yeah, so that was, I meant to put that into my last video, but sorry guys, I didn't. But yeah, so that's that part. So Tottenham playing Bayern Munich tomorrow in Munich. So our last pre-season friendly before the actual season starts. You think in 7 days' time play PSG in the Super Cup, and all we've got in the door as first team players is Kudus and Paulinho on loan. Crazy, isn't it, really? So yeah, we play them tomorrow at 5:30 British Standard Time. You can watch that on Spurs Play. But yeah, so my predicted lineup for tomorrow. Let's see if I get any closer this time. Last week I got 3, I think it was, and the time before it was 9. So I do think this time it will be more of a. Will it be? It's a tough one, really, because we have got our Super Cup next week. I think it'll be in goal will be Vicario. I think the back four will be. I think it'll be Spence right back. Left back I think will be Ben Davies, and centre backs I think it will be Danzo and Van der Ven. I think Romero and Porro will not start. They've started the last 2. I think them 2 will be starting the bench. Midfield, I think it will be Paulinho, Bentancur and Bergvall. And then on the left wing, I think it'll be Odegaard. On the right wing, I think it'll be Kudus. And up front, I think it'll be Richarlison. That's my starting 11 I predicted, and we'll see how many I get right this time. So yeah, big game, you know, last friendly game, really. We've done well in the friendlies, especially against like Arsenal, Newcastle. I think we played quite well. Defensively, we look really sound. It's just attacking, you know. The final third, we just don't really have the firepower, in my opinion. You know, Matthias Tell and Odegaard are both still young, you know. We need more of a established player to play on the left, in my opinion. Up front, we've got Richarlison and Solanke. Solanke's injured at the moment. I don't know if he's back for tomorrow. I've predicted that Richarlison will start. Richarlison don't get enough goals. Sorry. In my opinion, I just don't think Richarlison's good enough for for us really. Not don't get me wrong, he works hard, but he can't hold the ball up well. He can't pick up a pass. He doesn't score many. I just don't think he's the greatest player. So, and then we got on the right side Kudus, who I think is our best attacking option, which we bought this year. He's just settling in. He's looked good so far, but last year he didn't get too many goals and assists. So hopefully he can have a better output for us playing on that right hand side this year. Because with Maddison out for, I'd say, a long time, we don't have that creativity, and no Kulusevski for a few more months yet. So I just don't see where goals come from, apart from Brendan Johnson, who can get goals, but you might as well be playing with 10 players, because his build-up play and getting involved in games, it's just not there. It'd probably be better to play Johnson probably through the middle, if I'm honest. But I've never seen him play through there, so I don't know if he can do that job. But yeah, so we'll see how we get on tomorrow. I don't expect us to win against Bayern Munich in Munich. Just see if we can get a good count of ourselves and give them a good game, and we go from there. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game, maybe a 1-0, 2-1 maybe sort of game, but we'll see. And then next week we got the Super Cup. Next Wednesday against PSG. It's going to be a very difficult game. I'm hoping we get 1 or 2 over the line before then, because if we don't have a number 10 or a left winger or both, or even a striker, I think it's going to be difficult to score many goals this year, because defensively I think we look really good and we look sound. I think we look good. Our back foot, with Vicario in goal, and if you play Porro on the left, either Udogie or Spence, and then Van der Ven and Romero, it's a very good back five. And then with Paulinho in front of them, who protects, that's a very good base. And then the number 8, even I don't, even the other Bergvall or a Bentancur in there, I don't mind that. I think that's good as well. Or even a Sarr, he's looked really good in pre-season, to be honest. But it's the top end of the pitch where, we need a number 10. We haven't got one at the moment, because they're all Maddison and Kulusevski's injured, and a left-sided player who we desperately need, because Odegaard and Tell are both young, still learning their trade, and not good enough, especially for a Champions League campaign as well. I just think we need a left-sided player. And then I still feel we need a striker as well. So if we need to invest and get some players in the door, I really believe if we get a number 10 and a left-sided player and a striker, it'll be a good transfer window then. If we get 2 out of the 3, but with a definite number 10, I still think that'll be a good transfer window. But we'll have to wait and see. Players who could come in, Jack Grealish, he could play on the left-sided and as a number 10. I don't think that would be too much of a difficult deal to do, if I'm honest with you. We've got World Cup next year. He'll want to be playing week in, week out. It'll be worth playing, to try getting into that squad for the World Cup. So I just see it as a win-win. Even if it's a loan deal, I don't think City wouldn't object to playing a little sum towards his wages. So I don't see that a difficult deal. I see that as a no-brainer, if I'm honest with you. So I don't see why we can't try and get in Grealish. Next player, Eze. Arsenal have still not forked out the money for him. It just seems to have gone a bit quiet with Eze. He would be the perfect player to come in as number 10. I think everyone at the club, as all us fans, will be really happy with that. Getting an Eze in, or someone in that calibre of player. And he's homegrown as well, same as Grealish, homegrown. So it'll go, I just don't see why we can't go out and get these players. It's just ridiculous, and we're left short at the moment. So players like that, there's still Harvey Elliott. I think Liverpool won around between 40 and 50 million for him. Another good player. He's still young, but he's definitely proven. He's played over 100 games for Liverpool. He's got experience, and he works hard. He doesn't stop running. He's a very good player. I wouldn't mind having him either. That's another option. So there's options out there where Spurs can get players for the number 10, and even on the left wing where Grealish can play, and even Eze can play there, who cuts in and comes into it like as a number 10 on the left sort of side. So there's players there, and other players have been linked with. I've seen more links with Rodrigo again. I just think this one's a bit ambitious. Obviously we want to be ambitious, but I just don't see in any world where Rodrigo would want to come to Spurs, leaving Real Madrid to come to Spurs. I think there'll be other clubs who, if he really is going to come out and say he wants to leave and get first team football, I think there'll be other clubs who'll come out and he'll end up going somewhere else than Spurs. I can't see him coming to Spurs, if I'm honest. It'd be great if we could get him, but I just see it's very unrealistic. Same as Leao, it looks like he's happy at AC Milan and he doesn't want to leave. So I don't see that happening either. I can actually really see what happened, that we'll get El Canoes, because it's an easy signing to get from Leicester for around £22.5 million because of his relegation release clause. So I think it'll be someone like that who will end up coming in if we do get a left-sided player. But you know, Ali Gold's come out and said that we're looking for a number 10 and a centre-back is our main priorities. I don't understand the centre-back. I think we've got enough cover there with Romero, Van der Ven, Danzo, Ben Davis can play there, and when Dragoshoon comes back. So, you know, I don't think that's a main priority in my opinion, but if that's what we want to do, that's what we want to do, I suppose. Okay, if someone like Gui from Palace, we can go and get him, I wouldn't say no at all, because, you know, I think you can pick him up for around 40 million. But again, I just think he'll end up at somewhere like Liverpool, because, you know, Liverpool would need a centre-back as well, and it's a no-brainer for Liverpool to go and get him as well. So, and, you know, with them selling, it's like Darwin Núñez is going to Saudi for over 50 million, there's more money Liverpool getting in. And if they sell Harvey Elliott, it looks like he's going Leipzig in for him, and that's going to be 40-50 million. That's nearly 100 million they've got back there. So, you know, they're getting money in, even they're spending money, they're getting money back in. Where we're not selling anyone. Basuma's still on the books, can't get him out the door. We've got Richarlison still here. We're getting the players we're getting out are the kids. You know, we're finding clubs for them, but we can't sell any of the players what are in our first team, what we want to get rid of. So we'll have to see if anything happens. There was rumours about Basuma, maybe West Ham, but I've not heard anything else in the last couple of days with that, so we'll see what happens with that. And then also that Everton just come in for Grealish as well, so if we want to go and try getting Grealish, we need to act now. But this is the problem with Tottenham, we're, you know, in August now, we've got a week to our Super Cup, and we're just not acting like a big club at all. It's ridiculous. It's the same as every year. Every year we think things are going to change. That we're going to start acting like a big club, getting our players in. It just never happens. You know, I think for me it's going to be a difficult start to the season, especially if we don't have that number 10 and we're just not going to create any goals. It's going to be difficult to score goals. We might look better and solid defensively, but I just can't see where the goals are coming from at Spurs at the moment, unless we make 2 or 3 signings up the top end of the pitch, or something miraculously goes well with Tau and he improves more quicker than you know, the same as Odegaard, than what we're anticipating, because at the moment they're not ready. They don't look ready, so we'll have to wait and see. But if there's any updates, I'll let you guys know. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all soon. And as always, come on, you Spurs.